Welcome back everyone, I'm Plays Games, this is EVE Online, and today we're going to be fitting out another Tech 1 battlecruiser running level 3 missions with a view to running level 4 in the same fit at a later date. This time out we're going to be doing a prophecy. We did a prophecy a few years ago and it looked like this, with heavy missile launchers and drones and all good stuff like that, so we'll change it up, we'll do something a bit different this time. As always, we're going to start by looking at the stats of the prophecy. And here they are. Per level of a Mar battlecruiser, you will get 10% bonus to drone hit points and damage. I have level 5, so we'll be getting 50% bonus to hit points and damage of all our drones. And per level of a Mar battlecruiser skill, you will also get a 4% bonus to all of your armour resistances. Again, I have level 5, so that's an instant 20% boost to all of our armour resistances. It has a roll bonus, it can use one command burst, but command burst, when we click on them, when we have a look at command bursts, they all have the Omega symbol and a very faint yellow border, which indicates these are Omega only, and that means we won't be using it because we are trying to keep this series alpha friendly. And the other roll bonus is it has a 12.5% bonus to drone micro warp drive velocity, so that lets your drones get from target to target a little bit faster. Fitting wise, it has 5 high power slots, 4 of which can be turrets, 4 of which can be missiles. So usually you'd go 4 turrets or 4 missiles and then a command burst or something else. Has 4 medium power slots and an enormous 7 low power slots. 3 medium rig slots with the usual 400 calibration and an absolutely enormous 225 cubic meter drone bay. And when we go to attributes and scroll all the way down for the drone bandwidth, 75 megabits a second, so you can use up to 3 heavy drones at the same time, or 5 medium or 5 light, or any other combination thereof, which totals to 75 megabits. So let's simulate this ship and actually make one. Right, because we know we're going to be doing this thing in level 4 missions at some point, let's do the tank first. As we see, the resistances with nothing on the ship, because I have level 5, are being pushed up by 20%. So we're starting off with a native EM armour resist of 60, thermals 48, kinetics 40, and explosive is 36, which is pretty good. So let's go 2 armour repairers, we'll do 2 medium endurings, and I think we'll do a reactive armour hardener. That should be enough for the tank, I think. Weapons wise, we did missiles last time. Missiles are good for missions because you can pick any of the 4 damage types you want, but I think this time we'll do lasers. So we'll do beam lasers, I think. I don't think I'm going to do a close range brawling fit. We'll do some heavy beam lasers, why not? We'll try heavy modulated energy beam 1s to start off with. When we open the information tab on these, click attribute, scroll down, meter level 4, so modulated energy beam are the largest of the Tech 1 heavy beams. Beam lasers come in 3 types. There is the quad, which is the shortest range, lowest damage, but best tracking and easiest to fit. There are focused, which is the middle of the road one, and the big ones, which we've gone for, have the longest range, the highest damage, but the worst tracking, and they're harder to fit. But as you can see, we've put 4 of them on, and we've got 2 armour repairers on, and we've still got 324 power grid left. Battle cruisers are pretty forgiving when it comes to fittings, so let's sort out the capacitor with our old friend, the large compact cap battery. Okay, that only leaves us with 4 power grid to fit everything else, so let's maybe not do that. Let's do a medium compact, and we'll see how we get on with that. Movement wise, we're going to do an afterburner. We don't have to be very fast in the ship, so we'll put a 10 meganewton mono propellant enduring afterburner on this ship. Then we'll talk about the low slots. We've got 4 of them remaining. I think we're going to do at least 2, maybe 3 compact drone damage amplifiers. Speaking of drones, we should probably put some drones on the ship. We'll start off with just 5 mediums and 5 lights. There was 6, there's 5 hammerhead 1s, and we'll do 5 hobgoblin 1s, and we'll put some heavy attack drones on. We'll do some ogre 1s. You can only use 3 ogre 1s at any one time because that's 75 megabits a second. So if we were to use 3 Ogre 1s, we'd have 318 DPS just from the drones themselves. 5 Hammerheads is 265, but obviously they're faster and got better tracking and attract less aggro. Simply because heavy drones might take more aggro, I'm going to put 6 of them in the ship so we can replenish losses, and that rounds out the drone bay to 225. Okay, I would quite like this ship to be kept stable with at least the afterburner off, because we are planning to take it into level 4 missions. It's only repairing 70.4 hit points a second, even though we've got 2 armour repairers. So I think we'll have a look at a rig, and we'll do one auxiliary nano pump to increase the amount of repair per cycle. That pushes us up to 81, that's a bit more like it. Kit wise, we do have this one empty low slot, so I think we'll do a cap power relay in this, do a restrained. Yeah, we've got plenty of CPU left, we don't have to go for a compact. We'll do a restrained one of those, maybe a cap recharger in one of the mid slots, and 2 cap rigs, 2 cap controls is 7 minutes 21, it's not great. 2 semiconductors is 748, that's a little bit better. We can affect the capacitor use that the ship is pulling by fitting different crystals to the guns. At the minute, we have an activation cost of 13 gigajoules each because we have no crystals fitted. If we fitted standard, the cap life suddenly jumps up to 48 minutes because standard has a 50% reduction, 45% reduction in the capacitor need, which is quite nice. It's still not stable though. You know what, I think I'm going to try and find a way of getting a large compact battery on this thing, because we know we were not very far away power grid wise. We were 62 under. So if we take off the cap power relay we just put on and replace that with a power diagnostic system, this gives us more power and more cap and lots of other things as well. As we see, power diagnostics give you so many good things, but power and cap are the ones we're interested in. Okay, now the ship with the afterburner off is cap stable when it's firing standard at least. So which other crystals can we use? Can it use multi-freak and still be stable? No, but 22 minutes is that's pretty close to being stable anyway. We mouse over it. What is the range of multi-frequency? Only 27 kilometers. It's not great. I would quite like it to be a little bit longer. Obviously radio is the longest range, but by far the weakest damage. The fall off range goes all the way out to 62, which is pretty much where our targeting range is. When we mouse over offense, how much? Well, yeah, the turrets, all 4 turrets together are doing 60 DPS, 60 DPS, because radio is absolutely appalling damage wise, but it does at least reach out that way. So what is the highest damage we can go? Can we do gamma and be stable? Yes, we can. Well, that's pretty good. It's only 11 DPS less than the multi-frequency, but at least it's stable. So maybe we'll just remove multi-frequency from this. Okay, in 21 minutes with the afterburner running, that's pretty good. I mean, there's not much point in, with the final high power slot, I don't think there's much point in putting a drone link augmenter to push out the drone control range to 80 kilometers, because we only target to 62, unless of course we did something like a sensor booster in the mid slot. That's maybe not a bad idea. Let's have a look at doing that. I was hoping to maybe use something in the mid slot to increase the damage application, but I think we might just have to do a sensor booster. There we go. The targeting range is now 79, which is close to 80, and then if we do a drone link augmenter in the final high slot, drone control range is also now 80. Will we run this ship like this? I mean, I don't like not having any damage application at all, but then drones actually apply quite well if you use them on the correct targets. Like if you use hobgoblins against frigates and destroyers, are really good. If you use hammerheads against destroyers, cruisers and battle cruisers, they're more than good enough. However, I do really want to get some kind of damage application. It's just making me insane not having any. So I think we'll lose the capacitor recharger, and we'll replace it with an enduring omnidirectional tracking link, which will boost the tracking speed and range of the drones. Now, the range is not that important. It really comes into its own when you're using sentry drones. So what we'll do, we'll go to charges and we'll just put a tracking speed script in that. Okay, so we know we can target out to 80, drones go out to 80, guns with radio go out to 60 something, not 63. With gamma, no, now we've run into big cat problems. We could get rid of the nano pump. We're losing 11 hit points a second repair, and then just triple up on the semiconductor memory cells. In fact, now we're tripling up on these, maybe we should have a look at some other rigs like capacitor control circuits if we're going to do triples. As I've said, sometimes you need to mix and match and see what you get cap life wise. Right, 1854 with 3 semiconductor memory cells, stable with 3 cap control circuits. There we go. And 2 in 1's 33 minutes. Yeah, so 3 cap control seems to be the way to go. We've lost a little bit of rep, but at least we can run it forever with pretty much everything running. 16 minutes with the afterburner on. What would this be with standard M? Okay, so if we took standard M, in fact, maybe not even standard, maybe ultraviolet. Wow, okay. So this ship is actually cap stable with everything running if we use ultraviolet M, which isn't terrible. And it's still 107 DPS from the turrets. They do only go out to, well, it's not bad. It's between 29 and 39 kilometers. That's not bad. Okay, maybe we'll try that. So we'll use ultraviolet for most of our damage, and we'll have some multi-frequency just in case we actually need to go up to 143 damage, just for a little while. I mean, it still lasts 10 minutes with everything running. I mean, that's huge. Most of the time on level 3s we'll only be running the 1 rep. So we're definitely having multi-frequency. So we're going to do multi-frequency and ultraviolet and radio. Radio is just for pinging things at very long range. I think that's how we're going to go with this ship, actually. I don't think I'm going to change anything else. So what's the top line damage if we used ogres? 461 DPS. I mean, DPS is not huge, but it's kind of on a par with some other of the ships we've been using in this series. Most of the time we'll be using hammerheads, 408. That's with multi-frequency. It's not huge, but it's good enough for what we're going to be doing, I think. Right, so I shall pop off and buy this, and I'll meet you at a level 3 agent location. And here we are with our beautiful Prophecy. It looks a bit like a chicken, but I think Prophecy look wonderful. They look powerful and squat and massive amount of engines out the back. I like the cinematic ship reveal, but the developers may want to increase the polygon count of their models if they're going to have cinematic close-ups of them. Yeah, they might want to do that someday. But anyway, we're not here for sightseeing, we're here for level 3 missions. On the way over here, I have bought a whole load of kinetic drones as well. This is not simply because we're living in Galenti space and most of the things we'll be fighting will be primarily weakest to kinetic. This is mainly to do with their shields. Let's have a look at the Vesper 1. If we show info on that, shield capacity, 675 hit points on the shields. And the hammerheads, which are the thermal ones, which do a little bit more damage, only have 187 on the shield. So that means that the Vespas are going to be more survivable. I mean, hammerheads do have 337 armour and Vespas only have 262, but drones cannot repair their own armour, but they can repair their own shields. So I would much rather have shield ones which are doing kinetic damage but a little bit less damage modifier. What is the damage modifier on these? 6.215, and hammerheads 6.629. I mean, it's a little bit less damage, but they have a lot more shield capacity. And remember, this is being boosted by the 50% from our traits. If we had fitted a drone durability rig, it would be boosted by another God knows how much, like lots more. But I wanted capacitor instead. But anyway, that means that these drones can go out, and even if they come under enemy aggression, they can stay out for longer, or at least survive until they come all the way back to the ship. This is of prime importance for the Wasps. Wasps have 1,350 hit points on their shields, so if aggression switches to them, they should hopefully last long enough to get back to the ship. Because these things be pretty slow. Maximum velocity 1,500 meters a second. I mean, it's not that slow, but when you compare it to the mediums, which go at 2,600, they're a lot slower. So that was my thinking there. Let's see if we need kinetic on this mission. Damsel in distress. Okay, this is against mercenaries, even though nothing tells you mercenaries. Come to my attention that one of our employees' daughters has gone missing. She was last spotted in a disreputable nightclub. It tells you nothing about who this is against, but it's against mercenaries, and they are weakest to kinetic, so happy days. We have to bring back 1 unit of the Damsel with a cubic volume of 0.1 cubic meters. We've got plenty of space for that. We're being paid 269,000 ISK and 981 loyalty points for doing this mission, with a further 288,000 ISK if you complete it within 2 hours and 42 minutes. 2 hours and 42 tells you it's kind of the easy to medium range. So let's accept and go and rescue a damsel. Right, on the way to the mission, I have arranged all the modules how I want it. I've put the second armour rep all the way over here. Because we're camp stable, we can just turn everything else on as we go into the mission. I'm going to leave the guns grouped so I can instantly swap out the crystals, because as we see, crystals instantly swap out. That's one of the best things about them. I've put the drones into folders. I've accidentally left the hammerheads in the drone bay, but that's fine. Let's have a look at skins, even though I said that Amar ships don't really need them. How many skins do I have for the ship? Quite a few. Okay, biosecurity responders looks kind of cool. Usually the whole front of the ship's blue, but not in this case. Got some cool ones. Let's do Purity of the Throne, because that's my favourite Amar skin. Bone White is always good. We're a little bit too close to everything from where I am, so I'm just going to double click and run away. No, I'm not. I'm just going to stay still and face tank everything, because I can. Everything's really close, so I'm going to right click and change to multi-frequency. There aren't reinforcement spawns in this mission. And the timing, they're not timed or anything. They show up when you attack Cruel. So make sure your drones are not flying off and attacking Cruel all on their own, and make sure that you don't accidentally shoot at him yourself. Tank's going to take a bit of a beating because we're just sitting still, so I'll just turn on the second armour rep. This is just until the DPS gets removed a little bit. I'm going to bring the drones back as soon as they kill that cruiser. Yeah, I just bring him back. I'll start shooting at another cruiser with my guns. I'm just going to bring the drones back and then spit out the light drones, and they'll go and kill all the frigates. Just to get them off my screen because they're annoying me. Yeah, reactive armour hardener is changing its resistances, so it's now at 23.3 and 36.8. This is despite people insisting that it's not actually properly reactive, like it doesn't actually adjust to exactly what you're being shot with, that it'll always end up at 30 and 30. Well, I'm proving them wrong here, because these enemies do 43% thermal and 57% kinetic, and the drones accidentally shot Cruel. And here comes the reinforcement wave. God damn it. So the reactive armour hardener is not on 30 and 30, it's on 32.25 and 27.75, because that is exactly what we're being shot with. Right, drones, come back. We're going to need medium drones out now, because we need to actually kill a lot of cruisers. Again, we were a little bit overwhelmed, but not too much. So then if you come into this mission and the first thing you shoot is Cruel, all of this will spawn with all of the original guys, and you could have a bad time. I mean, our tank's being pushed pretty hard, to be honest. But we'll be fine. It'll be fine. We'll kill things with a dual rep. Again, I'm taking lots of damage because I'm just sitting still. I'm not moving because I can't be bothered. I have faith that my drones and guns will remove enough damage from the field to take the tank to a point where it can actually tank all this stuff. Yeah, low armor warning, I don't care. We'll be fine. The drones are being shot, but because they have 650 shield, they're okay. There's another cruiser gone. Just double up on this one. Don't worry, the tank's going to be fine. If this is a level 4 mission, I'd actually move and turn the afterburner on to get the speed up to reduce the incoming damage, but I can't be bothered. It's only a level 3 and we're wiping off DPS on the field at a decent enough rate. Can our beam lasers actually hit this thing, which is right up in our business? That would be a no. Nah, we're missing. Can we hit these frigates? Probably not. Oh, we did hit that frigate. That's not too bad. Only once, and then we missed. Okay, we can kind of sort of maybe track frigates. I see, the frigates are a little bit easier to hit because they're actually following the drones and not orbiting me at the moment. See, they're not even yellow boxing me. They don't even have me target locked. They're just focusing all their attention on the drones, which is making them a little bit easier to hit for me. Which is nice. And the tank's recovered back to pretty much where it should be. Drones can go and play with crew. There we go, he's dead. Bring the drones back. We'll spit out the medium drones. And put out the light drones and they'll go and kill the single remaining frigate. Off they go. They'll probably one-shot it. Oh, 1, 2, alright, 3 shots. Now, opportunities window is saying you need the Damsel in your cargo hold. There is no cargo container here. And spoilers, she is not in any of the wrecks. She's not in Crew's wreck, she's not in any of the wrecks. She is hiding inside this pleasure hub. Which, again, as usual, is a large collidable structure instead of an overseer's structure as it should be. But I know what I'm doing, so let's just put out the wasps and they'll go and blow it up. Send the heavy drones out, they can actually go and do something. Let's look at heavy drone. Well, we didn't get much time to look at them. Wasps are bizarre looking things. Let's bring him back. And 2 cargo cans have spawned. Let's have a look. One of them is going to be who we need. And the other one, I believe, is just going to be passengers. Just random people who were in the pleasure hub. Marines today. Right, let's grab the Damsel and get out of here.
Warp drive active.
So far so good for the fit. It didn't get much of a test because I just sat still and face tanked. I mean, the tank was kind of just about on the verge of breaking. Again, because I was too busy talking about skins and not watching what the drones were doing, and we spawned the reinforcement wave, and because I couldn't be bothered to move the ship. But anyway, let's go and hand this in and get another mission. Here we are, back with the agent. Let's complete Damsel in Distress and request another mission. Rogue drone harassment. Fair enough. Go out there, kill all the drones, come back. We're being paid 344,000 ISK and 951 loyalty points, with a further 304,000 ISK due to us if we complete the mission within 2 hours and 36 minutes, so round about the same difficulty as the previous mission. Let's just stick with the kinetic drones because they've got really high shields. It's only a level 3 mission. Getting the exact correct damage type is not a huge consideration.
Warp drive active.
I'd rather have the extra shields and longevity that provides the drones. Again, because the ship's kept stable, I'm just going to turn everything on other than the second rep, which is only for emergencies. Like the last mission, the emergency was I couldn't be bothered to move. I was just being a little lazy because I could. I'm going to reload to ultraviolet because that's like our run-of-the-mill medium range, medium damage ammo. And an acceleration gate with no one waiting for us. So let's just get right through.
Warp drive active.
Okay, an acceleration gate. And quite a lot of cruisers. Oh, a strain infester. Right, that needs to die. Strain is an elite drone, so that may very well try and warp, jam and web us, and I don't want that to happen. So let's shoot this guy. We'll try and snipe him. Just 2 frigates and then a buttload of cruisers. Okay, looks like we're taking down the elite drone. It hasn't quite noticed we're here yet. This is good. Even though radio only does 60 DPS, it's enough to kill frigates. Okay, now it's an approach, so it should get hit easier. Come on, get hit. There we go. And I'll just snipe the other frigate. Just like so. The 2 cruisers that were with the frigates have woken up, but nothing else has, which is a little bit annoying. Let's put out the medium kinetic drones, and they can have a go at the cruisers that have woken up. And I'm going to switch over to ultraviolet, and I'm going to try and aggress this lot down here. Just so they don't aggress the drones, and rather they were shooting at me than the drones, because I've got a bigger tank than the drones. Good, that seems to have worked. And then we'll try and aggress one up the top. It's like the drones are about to kill that one, so they can go for that one, and then I shall aggress this lot up here. Just about dead on our optimal range, so we should be hitting it quite well. We only do, what, 107 DPS? Not huge, but enough. Okay, they've aggressed, that's good. That means they won't be shooting at the drones, that's great. And as soon as this cruiser dies to our guns, I shall reload to radio and wake up the guys at the back. And the drones can just do whatever they want. Easy peasy. It's very strange, it was just 2 frigates and then everything else is cruisers. I'm not complaining, because it's more money. I mean, they're all like, what, between 45 and 60,000, not huge. Right, these guys are woken up now. I'm going to stop firing at them because I'm just tickling them. I'm going to go back to multi-frequency and shoot the guys that are closer. And the drones can go and play with the ones that are further away. Because these ones are red box, which means they're actively firing at me, which means that these distances that they're at are not really going to change, because they're orbiting me at the range which is best for them. Which means that we should be hitting them quite well with multi-frequency. Yeah, we're taking off big chunks. Lovely. Even though we don't have a tracking computer, the only tracking thing we have is for the drones, because the drones are most of our damage. But we seem to be hitting them just fine. Mainly because I've got maximum skills. Go, lasers, go. And the drones have just about killed all of that faraway group, and they can come and help us with the close-up ones. Yeah, we're missing quite a lot. We're getting, and when we hit, we're only getting grazes and glances. The drones are getting penetrates and smashes, of course, because they actually have much better tracking than medium guns anyway, and that's been enhanced by this omnidirectional tracking link. Okay, we're sitting right on the gate. I don't need to approach it. I'll just wait for the drones to come and help me kill this guy. Then we'll be on to room 2. This was nice and easy, nice and chill. Haven't even lost our shields yet, and we've wiped out an entire room full of cruisers that we managed to get to all aggress us. Bam! Drones, one shot. Lovely. Again, as I said, using kinetic drones against these rogue drones in level 3 isn't a problem. Usually you'd go for either a MAR for EM damage or Galenti drones for thermal, but kinetic are working just fine.
Warp drive active.
It's only really level 4 that you really have to pay attention to what damage types you're doing. And as I said, I'd rather have drones with 675 shield hit points than the exact correct damage type. Okay, no more acceleration gates. Everything's really close, so let's just drag a box, stay on multi-frequency and open fire. Spin out the drones. They can just go and chew up these guys. In fact, you know what? I'm going to put out the wasps. I'm going to put out the heavy drones because everything's so close. The wasps will be fine. They'll be a lot closer. If they do come under fire, I can recall them almost instantly. Let's see how much damage wasps do. That was disappointing, gentlemen. But wasps do have 1,350 shield hit points. There we go. Now they've established their orbit, they're just massacring these drones. We're finally in armor damage. See, most of the enemy drones are going further away because it looks like they want to orbit me around 24, but that's okay. They can do that. That's not an issue. This one's really close. If they want to fight at 24, I can fight at 24. The drones want to come and get this Viator. It's right up in my business. I'm going to change to ultraviolet just so the optimal range is a little bit better. Yeah, that seems to be working fine. Okay, they've all gone yellow box now, which means they're actually shooting at the drones, but the drones are kind of tanking alright. Once this Viator goes down, I'll just bring the drones back because they're like 5 kilometers away. There we go. Bring the drones back, reacquire aggression on myself. Wait for them to all go red box. And we'll just put out the medium drones. I can't be bothered with the heavies. I don't want to have to do that another couple of times. We'll just grind them down this way. So even though the heavy drones were very close to the ship, they still took a decent amount of damage. I mean, luckily they were close enough to the ship to come back nice and fast. But it could have been a little bit dodgy for them. That is the problem with using heavy drones. Even though they do a staggeringly huge amount of damage, they move very slowly and everything likes to drop aggression and target them. And when an entire room of things hits something that moves as slow as a heavy drone, then the heavy drone will take a lot of damage. Again, if we'd fitted a drone durability rig, that would have added another 25% onto their 1,350 hit points on their shield, but it still wouldn't have been enough to let them tank all these cruisers. But so far so good. Medium drones get the job done anyway. They're only like 30 or 40 DPS less, which is fine. So yeah, this seems to work just fine. We'll bring the drones back, and then we'll go and wrap up.
Warp drive active.
Okay, made it back safe and sound. Let's complete the mission and complete this video well. The prophecy works fine for level 3. We knew it would. It's a battle cruiser. Whether or not it works fine in level 4, we'll find out in a few weeks' time. But I think we're in a good place. We've got decent drones, decent damage. It's cap stable with everything running, including the guns and 2 reps and the afterburner, amazingly. Because Prophecy are really good ships. So come back in a few weeks' time and see how this thing does in level 4, and come back next week for another Tech 1 battlecruiser. Until then, do look after yourself, and I'll speak to you again soon.